Welcome back to AnTick Machine, where craft, history, and heavy iron meet the woods. Today, we're deep in old-growth forest, following a crew as they fell a massive, centuries-old tree. From planning to the final cut, we'll slow down, explain each step, and show why skill, not brute force, makes the woods safer. Out here, work begins long before the saw ever touches wood. The crew starts by reading the site, the slope, the wind, and the lean of the tree. They look for natural lay, where this giant wants to fall, and what must be cleared to guide it there. In tropical forests, vines and understory crowd the base. Those are trimmed away with machetes, so nothing snags the saw or the faller's feet. Two escape paths are cut at about 45 degrees behind the intended fall line, clear, open, and long enough to reach safety fast. The first cut is the face, also called the notch. Because the site slopes and the log will be skidded downhill, the faller chooses a Humboldt notch. The horizontal cut goes in first, then the sloping cut angles upward to meet it. This preserves more valuable butt log. The opening of the notch is wide, about 70 to 90 degrees, so the hinge can bend and guide the fall smoothly until the very end. Precision here matters. A shallow notch can close too soon. A narrow opening can break the hinge early and cause a twist. Now you can see the scale of this trunk, its buttress roots towering like walls around him. He's working the main face cut, finishing the Humboldt notch that will guide the fall. Each slice of the chainsaw follows the sight line he planned earlier, forming a clean mouth for the tree to fall into. The man beside him steadies a guide branch, helping mark the direction of the lay. Every motion is deliberate: depth, angle, alignment. The faller keeps the saw level and true, letting the bar glide through centuries of dense hardwood. This notch isn't about speed. It's about precision. When the two cuts meet perfectly, the tree will hinge forward exactly where intended, controlled, predictable, and safe.
Berikut ini proses penebangan kayu bangkiran. Kayunya agak hitaman guys ya, ada hitam-hitamnya. Ini nggak tahu busuk atau tidak, ya kita lihat aja dulu ya. Apakah busuk atau tidak. Mereka membuat jembatan atau kalangan pada banir kayu untuk tempat operator berdiri di situ ya, seperti itu. Kayaknya sudah mulai bergerak, nampaknya akan roboh. Jadi kita mengambil langkah 1000 guys ya, menuju jalan ke sana.
Now the team prepares for the back cut, the final and most critical stage. They've built a small platform across the buttress roots to reach the proper height, ensuring the cut sits slightly above the hinge of the front notch. From here, every inch matters. The back cut defines when and how this massive tree begins to move. One man holds the plank steady while the faller brings the saw to life. The chain bites into the ancient wood, and the sound deepens. He advances slowly, maintaining a perfect level line, watching the hinge thickness stay uniform across the trunk. When you're dealing with a tree this size, a few degrees off could twist the entire fall. The others stand back, eyes on the crown, listening for the tone change that signals the hinge beginning to stretch. At this moment, wedges are ready. A few taps with the back of the axe lift the trunk, relieving pressure and guiding the lean toward the notch. Every strike of the wedge is communication, a silent rhythm between experience and instinct. Perched on the narrow board, the faller continues the back cut with calm precision. The bar moves cleanly through the heartwood, never forced, never rushed. The smell of resin and sawdust thickens the air. He leaves a thin strap of holding wood at the rear, the final link of control. When it's time, that strap will be released, and gravity will take over. This is the moment years of skill are built for: balance, focus, and trust in the geometry of the cut. One wrong motion, and thousands of pounds of timber could go unpredictable. But done right, the fall will be silent, clean, and perfectly aligned with the plan they made hours ago. The forest holds its breath. Every man steps back, eyes fixed on the crown. The sound shifts, a deep crack from within the trunk, like thunder trapped in wood. The hinge fibers stretch, tear, and then the giant moves. Slowly at first, an ancient being surrendering to gravity after centuries of standing proud. The air thickens, birds scatter, and the ground trembles. The fall becomes a roar. Branches whipping through the canopy, dust rising like smoke. When the trunk strikes earth, the shockwave rolls through the jungle floor. You feel it in your chest, not your ears. Centuries of growth end in one breathtaking instant. Silence follows. No cheering, no noise. Just men standing still, humbled by the size of what's fallen. They walk toward the stump, reading the cut like a story. The hinge perfect, the face clean, the fall line true.
Pada bagian banirnya hitam. Ternyata ya memang dia busuk. Tapi kurasa depan-depannya sana tidak.
Kayaknya. Buntu. Hah? Sampai gitu aja lubangnya nah. Iya ya. Iya. Oh, iya buntu. Iya kan?
Bolong guys.
Sedikit. Iya, sini aja nah.
The work begins with precision. The faller sets his sights on the base of the trunk and marks the notch line. Wearing full safety gear, he starts the first cut. Clean, level, steady. The saw hums through the outer bark, sending chips flying. This first slice defines the tree's direction, so every angle and depth must be perfect. Next, the uppercut meets the lower line, creating a sharp, open face. This is the mouth of control, the notch that tells the tree exactly where to fall. With each movement, the faller checks alignment, making sure the two cuts meet cleanly in the heartwood. Now, the second worker steps in with the hydraulic jack, an advanced tool replacing old wedges. It's fitted carefully into a pocket cut behind the notch. The faller continues shaping the hinge, leaving just the right thickness to steer the descent. The jack's base is reinforced with wood blocks, keeping pressure even as steel meets sapwood. Slowly, the handle turns. Pressure builds quietly inside the trunk. The wood creaks, a deep, living sound. The tree begins to lean. The sawyer keeps his stance firm, watching the hinge fibers stretch exactly as planned. A final touch of the saw, a twist of the jack. Then, the forest answers.
C'est des combines, ça?
Là, c'est des
Combine
métiers. C'est des métiers. C'est des combines de métiers.
The giant moves. A deep crack echoes, followed by the rustle of leaves and the thunder of wood meeting earth. The crew steps back, eyes tracking the fall's arc. Clean, perfect, and safe. When the dust settles, they stand before a flawless stump. The hinge is even, the cut geometry true. It's not just skill, it's craftsmanship. This is how real loggers work. Precision, patience, and respect for the tree they bring down.